चलिए सर हम करते हैं कंपनीज एक्ट कुछ और सेक्शंस which are related to 148, that is those sections which are equally applicable to cost auditor as well. These sections originally or directly applies to the financial auditor, but by virtue of section 148 which says that the rights, the duties, the obligations, the qualifications, disqualifications as are applicable to the financial auditor will also be applicable to the cost auditor mutatis mutandis, that is insofar as it is feasible. Okay, so first we'll come to section 141. 141 is about eligibility, or you can say qualifications, or you can say disqualifications. Okay, अच्छा 141 को what I am teaching in 141 or what we are discussing in 141 would be a modified version as far as or insofar as it applies to the cost audit also. Okay, अगर cost audit के लिए इस नए एक्ट के अंदर ये प्रोविजन था कि इंडिविजुअल भी हो सकता है जो the auditor, it can be a firm also, it can be an LLP also. Okay, then in 141 it is mentioned who all cannot be an auditor, that is disqualifications, है ना. इसके अंदर लिखा हुआ है कि एनी बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट, यू कैन से एनी कंपनी कैन नॉट बी एन ऑडिटर except LLP. LLP is also a body corporate, but it still can be the auditor of the company. Then the officers and employees of the company, है ना. Then the relatives of the auditors and employees of the company. Basically, these are what we people have already studied long back. These are general conditions, है ना. Then any person who himself or whose relative or whose partner, they all have either a substantial interest in the company, or who are indebted to the company, or who have given a guarantee in respect of the company, है ना. You can say loan, guarantee, conflict of interest. Yeah, basically the concept is there should not be any conflict of interest. I'm sure and no specific question would come on this, only basic questions would come on this. Okay, then any person should not be there who is a relative of the director, or any person as a one specific. These were all conflict of interest kind of disqualifications. Now it is any person who has committed a fraud, okay, and 10 years has not elapsed. Basically the condition is if you have committed a fraud today, then 10 years would be your cooling off period. Only after that you can start your practice and you can be an auditor of any company. One more conditions is the auditor should not be engaged in providing services to this company or its subsidiary or associate company, है ना. Services like consulting and specialized services. For example, I cannot provide services of management of cost account, management of costs, or cost related any services. For example, we can say institutionalization or introduction of cost accounting system in the company, है ना. Basically the basic concept of an audit, that is an accountant cannot be an auditor, both have to be separate, both have to be independent. These all have been mentioned so as to ensure the independence of the auditor. Okay,
yes sir.
Then we'll come to section 143. 143 relates to the power and duties of the auditors and auditing standards. Auditing standards is not relevant here because auditing standards have already been dealt with in section 148 itself as far as it applies to the cost audit, है ना. Okay, we'll see only the basics. The basic it says is that the auditor shall have right of access at all times to the books of account and vouchers of the company, or you can say you will have to suitably modify it in accordance to cost audit. There are so many things have been mentioned in this section, but that is not relevant for cost audit. Okay. For example, one of the duties where any matter is to be reported in the audit report, and it is a qualification, then the report shall also state the reasons that why it is a qualification. Okay. Then there are so many things related to the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, which is not relevant for cost audit. Then things are related to branch office, that if you have not visited the branch office, then you must have received at least their statements which are in consonance with the original accounts. Then one subsection is on that the auditor shall comply with the auditing standards. This is already there in section 48 itself, so no need to do it. Then this is NFRA. NFRA has nothing to do with cost or auto maintenance of cost records. Then it is that the standards on auditing shall be as recommended by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. This is also not applicable here. In section 148 there is a specific provision for that. One specific section that is very much relevant here is that if an auditor, in the course of performance of his duty as an auditor, he has reason to believe that an offence involving fraud is being committed by the company or by its officers or employees, then he shall immediately report the matter to the central government within such time and in such manner as may be prescribed. There are separate rules for this, so he'll have to. If section? It is 143 subsection 12. It says it shall be the duty of the auditor to report any offence involving fraud which is being committed or which is about to be committed, about which he gets to know in the course of his performance of his duty as an auditor. He will have to mandatorily and immediately report them to the central government. Okay. And there is one also, this provision has been made very strict, in the sense that in the section itself, special penalty has been prescribed for not performing this specific duty, which says if any auditor, cost accountant or company secretary in practice do not comply with this provision of reporting of fraud, then he shall be punishable with fine which shall not be less than 1 lakh rupees, but which may extend to 25 lakh rupees also. So the fine is 1 lakh to 25 lakh. Now we'll come to section 144. We have already referred this section 143. Not 143, 141, wherein it is one of the disqualification that if the auditor is providing any of the services referred to in section 144, then he cannot become the auditor of the company. Okay. The duties of the auditor or the services to be provided by the auditor, it shall be decided by the audit committee or the board of directors as the case may be, but it shall specifically not include the following services, which includes internal audit, actuarial services, advisory services, investment banking services, management services, accounting and bookkeeping services, and other services like that. And you can say any other services that may be prescribed by the government. He shall not provide these services directly or indirectly, both. Okay. It shall be the duty of the auditor to sign the reports. The cost audit report shall be signed by the auditor. And section 147 is there, which specifies the penalties, which I have already stated. Yeah, we need not go into the amount of penalties that are specified.